I'm here with Kristin Davis. We are here at the Truth About Cancer Live, Day 2 in Nashville, Tennessee, at the famous, beautiful Gaylord Opryland.
That's right.
This hotel's great. How has your weekend been so far? Why are you here?
I am here because the CEO of this event, Charlene Bollinger, is a friend of mine. She's a patriot, a devout Christian, and probably one of the kindest women I have ever met. And I wanted to come support her. I put together this media room.
This is great. Thank you. By the way, I would not be here if it were not for Kristin. She is the one who hooked me up, told me to come, told me about this whole conference. And I ordered a banner, and I'm so psyched to be here. This is really great.
This is great. And it's a good place to network. And I think if you want information that's uncensored, and that's why she does this. Charlene lost, I don't know if you saw her opening. She lost 6 of her family members to cancer.
God.
And it was at that time that her husband and her felt like, well, I just lost my dad. And I feel like it was from the chemo and the radiation, because these harmful chemical treatments eroded his liver and all these different things. And so he died from that, actually. How can we actually heal this? And so they just spent, a year dug deep into alternative treatments. Also how the medical facility, you get the diagnosis and then they force you to go to the hospital by fear. Like, you're going to die right now if you don't go into chemo tomorrow.
Wow. Right. I think that's kind of what they did with my mom. Right. Like, she had a brain tumor and they were like, she got the surgery, and then they immediately were like, all right.
And
chemo.
they keep you.
Yeah.
So that you can't research and you can't make other decisions. And so they're just wanting to, one, their goal is to expose Big Pharma for the racket it is. And 2, provide alternatives, which is why I love this event so much, because it's not just like, hey, here's our problems, let's all
bitch
talk about them. No, but here's actually solutions. And so there's vendors here that have life-altering treatments. So I think that's really helpful. And she also does that with, the Patriot movement. She's got Eric Trump.
Yeah, Eric Trump speaking today.
Yeah,
I'm going to try to live stream a little bit of that. There's a good signal. Yeah, that's very exciting. And you're here with Roger and helping him do interviews and Yeah,
I've represented Roger Stone for 14 years. Roger Stone, when I met him, I was the big star. He was not as big.
How did you meet him?
So I met him on a Sirius XM radio show on Sirius XM Patriot. Vinnie Politan, his show, and we did a panel about Eliot Spitzer, and I had just been arrested for providing Spitzer with call girls. And
I don't know, I know I've heard, I haven't really looked into that stuff. It's is it weird? I just I kind of don't care. I don't know.
It was 14 years ago, so it's, but most people are still fascinated by the sex industry, so they're like, oh my God, you used to do this. Yeah, I was like, what were you doing 14 years ago?
Oh,
Half
God.
the people were being drunk in college or whatever.
Yeah. What was I doing 14 years ago? So I was 22. Ugh. Yeah, I was doing improv and just giving hand jobs.
It was a blur,
It was a blur of hand jobs and improv. Yeah.
That's right. Oh, but you didn't work for me. You should have been working for me.
I should have. I floundered for many years before I found where I needed to be.
I had a happy ending massage studio. 2 of them actually in Manhattan.
Wow, that's cool. Anything for women? I will always on. There should always
should be something for women, right? No, because there wasn't anywhere. So I was trying to do all kinds of different things when I was in business, like a man for man agency, a man for women agency, and there was just nowhere to advertise anything that wasn't sort of vanilla at that time. And I'm like, okay, I know there's a market here, but where do you even I started a man for women and a man for man. But the price points were so very, very low. And I'm like, okay, well, where do I find these clients? And I just couldn't find them. So I ended up just being like, that's not going to make me any money. That's too much work. Okay. So probably men would have been easier to deal with than the women that worked for me.
Right. Every female boss I've ever had has just been kind of hellish to work for. Not to group them all together, but I don't know. We're getting off topic. Okay, cool. So you met Roger Stone, and it's amazing. Roger Stone
on a radio show, and he said to me afterwards, "I didn't think you'd be this smart." Before I opened my agency, I was vice president of a hedge fund, so I have all this business background and college degrees. And I was like, he's like, what are you doing with your life? And I said, I have no idea. I just became a felon. I have no idea. I'm like a mess.
Oh.
He's like, can I take you out to dinner and we can talk about your future?
Wow.
I was like, what is this old man going to tell me?
Yeah. You're like, I have a mentor now? What is happening?
So he took me to the 21 Club in New York.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
it's like
with all the little lantern
the
boys outside. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is a little too uppity for me. I'm not really into that sort of thing. And he lobbied me to run for office.
Wow.
And I said no for about a year. And then he finally won me over. And it was fascinating to me. In 2008, he was telling me what he was going to do in 2010.
Wow.
And he said, Kristin, I'm going to get you into the debates with all the candidates. I'm going to do this and that. And I'm like, how does he know he can do this? He's just selling me a pipe dream.
Yeah.
And in that time in New York, the candidates had not been included in the debates, all of them, for 16 years, 4 cycles. So I was like, there's no way he can pull this off. How's he going to do this? And he did it. He did all of it. And it was fascinating to watch him strategize. And I've been working for him ever since.
Wow. That seems like almost like, I don't know, like God was like, you're lost with your life. I'm going to sort of like connect you with the right people.
Yeah. And, I have worked hard to sort of rehabilitate my life to the degree where people are not so judgmental and, do these sorts of things. And I've always been a libertarian.
Yeah.
On the conservative side of libertarianism.
You're really like well equipped to like kind of like work in this area, because this whole conference, it's all people who've been like censored for their political ideas, for their like, medical ideas, like cures, how to go about, like medical freedom. Like it's all so intertwined.
And you know what's interesting? So I've been doing media for years. Before Trump, I could put myself, Roger, any of my people on CNN, and it would be fair. You start going forward, even into 2018.
That's when it started getting really bad.
It started to change. I couldn't really get anyone on anymore. I couldn't even get most people on Fox. Into 2020, now I can't get anyone on any of the liberal networks. I can't get most people on Fox because their message is very stringent. So it's like, okay,
but didn't Fox used to be like, when I remember, like, I don't know, it was like during Trump's time, people still were like, okay, Fox is like one of the good ones, but now.
I think during his time, because they were supporting him, but now that it's not his time, the thing is, like, a lot of these networks don't want the lawsuits. Newsmax, they don't want the lawsuits. You talk about, COVID, and now you're going against Big Pharma, COVID vaccine. Okay, we can't weather that, sustain that lawsuit. So most of them are just scared.
Wow. And then it takes like conferences like this where people can actually get together, get the truth, get real information, and not be afraid. It's good. It's good to get out and like meet people, and not, you can do your own research online, but it's something else to just like get it in person, hear these presentations, like,
Some of them brought slideshows. I saw something the other day at lunch that was so disturbing about the COVID vaccine. I was like, can we talk about something positive? It was Dr. Carrie.
Madej?
Yes.
I think she's like speaking today too.
She just spoke. But I had the opportunity to sit down at lunch with her, and she showed me the cells and the videos of the things that she had found. And I was like, this is really, really, really disturbing. Like, it was a very depressing conversation that I left feeling a little down about. But it's good, because where else are you going to find this information?
Yeah. No, it's a big mob. It's a big like racket, it's a big, like, once you realize it's a huge money-making industry, and it's like 2 drug dealers on each other's turf, even though I don't feel like people who are talking about vitamins and supplements are like drug dealers, but like that's how Big Pharma sees them. And it's like anything to discredit. I remember like very early on in the pandemic, I posted an Instagram story just about like herbs, and they like removed it. Like I was trying to like push COVID cures, and I was like, what? This is just like herbs that are good for general. And then that's when that was a big moment of like, oh wow, they're really like, they're coming for people.
I don't even post anything, but promotions for events and news hits that my people do. And I've been censored, and I'm like, all I posted is a flyer. Roger Stone going to be here.
Yeah.
So give me a moment.
Okay. Thank you, Kristin. It's good to chat with her. I adore her.